including the coaching staff and tonight's interview with Tank Dell, which you saw probably on my short as well as social media. And Tank is doing great, says he's back, and he says it's going to be special for him and Seven. He really appreciates the support of his teammates, his coaches, his fans. He said it was truly humbling to go through what he's been through all this time and to have this hardest year of his life and to come out of it, as he says, stronger and better. Hi, guys. So, just recapping a little bit for you about the conversation with Tank Dell. And like he said, he called it the hardest year of his life. He also says he's back. He's feeling good. He's going to cook up this season. That's good if you're cooking up, for anybody that doesn't know the slang. And just to paraphrase a little bit, as he hosted a shopping spree at Academy Sports and Outdoors for athletes, young female athletes from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Houston in honor of National Women and Girls Sports Day. Once the season comes, he says he's going to cook up. That's the vision. He says he was making a push at the end of the season, and he wanted to be out there with the guys. And last year, that football season alone was the hardest of his life. Sat out football for a whole year straight. Played football since he was 5 years old. First year he had to sit out the whole year. As you guys know, he's endured a lot. The broken fibula as a rookie, then the gunshot, and then this horrific dislocated knee, torn ACL, torn MCL, torn LCL, 2 surgeries, countless hours and days of rehab. And as Nick Casario said, everybody's rooting for Tank Dell. And about C.J. Stroud, the embattled C.J. Stroud, in every way possible, he's pulling for him just like he was there for him. People could say what they want about number 7, Tank says. They're sitting on the couches, typing on the computer, typing on their phones. Everybody knows who 7 is and the facility we know he is. When we get back out there with him, it's going to be special, so we can let them say what they want about him. But he had a good time today. He's in a great mood, and having Tank back is a real boost. Let me catch up on some of the things here. And as you guys know, hi, everyone. Hi, Glenda. Everybody's saying hi. So comeback season for Tank Dell. And as you guys saw, and I told you there will be changes. And as I reported, Texans fired tight ends coach Jake Moreland. They also fired assistant linebackers coach Ben Bowling. And they did not renew the contract of offensive assistant Mike Snyder. I know who's coming in. Deals are not official yet. Needs to get a little more clarity before I can release these names. They are not big names. There will not be big changes to the coaching staff. This is going to be a run-it-back situation with this offense, whether you like it or not. You probably don't. I don't know. Joe Mixon, I don't think there's any future for him here. I don't know what Joe's talking about. Sarah, if you want to elaborate. I think I've seen whatever I've seen from Joe. Joe has kind of played a little bit of bait and switch, I think, on social media all season long and all off season. They've made it very clear. Not around, not rehabbing, not healthy. That's what I'm hearing behind the scenes too. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate the words. Tank was allowed to give interviews. Yes, he did interviews. I think he preferred to mostly talk about the charity, not charity, but like helping Boys and Girls Club and supporting female athletics. But he complied, and it was a group of guys that he knows well, myself and some of the other beat reporters, so he decided to help out. Tight end room. I think that they're going to be very similar with Dalton Schultz, Cade Stover, Brevin Jordan. Maybe they'll add one more. Brevin is expected back for next season. Nothing new. Gerard Johnson is still a candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles. I was told it's wide open per sources for the offensive coordinator position of the Philadelphia Eagles. Would not say that he's a leading candidate. If he doesn't get the job, he'll be back. If he doesn't get the job, one of their big options they're weighing is having senior offensive assistant Jerry Schlapinski, who's worked extensively with Tom Brady and other quarterbacks, be the quarterback's coach. You're welcome, Olabos. I've reported a lot of the Giants ones, including Dennis Johnson, and I reported their strength coach who came from the Ravens. They're both from the Ravens, both those guys. Rudy just answered that about Gerard. Do not know yet. Not expecting it per se, but he's in the mix. We'll see. James Lipford has a very good chance to become the Atlanta Falcons general manager, your assistant general manager. So we'll see. I think running it back can be good, continuity. Sometimes that works. Okay. Yeah, that's the one I saw from Joe too. Yeah, I don't hang on every word of the guys, Sarah. Not saying that you do, but I don't always read very much into what they say. I'm more about actions or what my information tells me. It doesn't tell me that Joe's returning. He's due $8 million. And do you think that would be money well spent? Probably not. Let me give you some key dates for the NFL offseason so you guys know. And yes, we'll be at the NFL Scouting Combine, just like last year. And I'll be at the NFL Owners Meetings. So after the Pro Bowl games on February 3rd, which includes Kalen Bullock, Kamari Lassiter, Will Anderson Jr., Derek Stingley Jr., Azeez Al-Shire, and after the Super Bowl, the NFL teams can have until February 17th to designate a franchise or transition player. I don't expect them to do that. The Combine is from February 23rd to March 2nd, and the deadline for the franchise tag, that was the first day, I should have said, the 17th, March 3rd, and then you can, after that, there's a negotiating period from March 9th to the 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern that day. Free agency begins. Then March 29th, April 1st, they will have the annual league meeting at the Biltmore Hotel in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's it. I don't know what they're pivoting to, Antonio, after not getting Todd Monken. John Harbaugh is going to have to pivot to that. Sarah, that is supposed to be it for coaching firings. I've heard some rumblings about Ben McDaniels, but nothing concrete. Sounds like this is it, and they're going to run it back with the rest of the guys. I don't think show is the answer for New Orleans. I think they need better than that. No, I don't think there's going to be a consultant, Rudy. No, why would they do that? They already have Bill Lazor. They have, as a senior assistant, they have Jerry Shlapinski. That is not expected. NFL teams can agree to trades right now, Omar. They can officially be consummated March 11th. Cade Mays, guys, let me clear this up. Cade Mays is someone that he's interested in them. The Texans even haven't had a free agency meeting. I just threw that out as a name that made some sense, is my reporting. That other guy that said that took it way too far. And there is nothing at all yet. No one. As far as my inklings, I mean, sure, who wouldn't want Tyler Linderbaum? Whether they can afford him, don't know yet. To answer the center question for Olabo and Joshua. And guys, yeah, thanks for being in the chat. And as you know, Super Chats cut the line. So please use the Super Chat. That's always a good option. And I appreciate everybody that does that. Thank you. They're not on the same page probably financially with Tim. I think he can make more money elsewhere. I think they're more likely to have a Sheldon Rankins re-signing than a Tim Settle. But the price could have gone down a little bit because of the foot surgery. You're welcome, Joshua. And like I said, the offense coordinator Giants question, I don't think anybody really has. The resetting there. They're going to have more interviews. Omar, yes. Gerard Johnson will be the quarterback's coach. They feel like if they work together and they have more time together and more continuity, more time with the same system, that they can get different results is the answer. Whether that is borne out, I don't know. But I look at it like this. Do you think a third offensive system in a 3-year span for CJ Stroud would be good? I think no. Best case scenario, re-sign Titus Howard to a long-term deal, re-sign Ed Ingram, get an upgrade at center, possibly sign another guard or draft one. Sure, Joshua, next time I see him. I probably see him if he goes to the NFL scouting combine. Jake Andrews is not definitely gone, Rudy. Got to find an able-bodied replacement if you're going to do that. If CJ doesn't work out, it's a hypothetical, Omar, so I'm going to give you my opinion. If he's bad, I think they've got to rethink everything. The quarterback evaluation, it could change a lot with this franchise. A lot of pressure on CJ Stroud, as you guys know. I don't think he's blind to the criticisms or deaf to it at all. He's hearing it, seeing it. Absolutely. I don't know if he's super focused on it. I think he knows better than to stay on that. But how can you ignore that? Karen, it's a good question, but I don't have the answer. I don't know what the bar is. I think it's subjective. Probably a good playoffs by him. Maybe a step further, like get to the championship game. Do a little bit better than before. Don't have 5 interceptions and 5 fumbles, obviously, in the playoffs. I was just answering that, Olbo. I said that's unclear if they're going to be able to get one. On a lot of the free agency and draft questions, guys, we're not there yet. I know everybody wants to have answers, and so do I. I'm as impatient as anybody, but I've been doing this a while, and I can tell you it takes time. They have to have meetings. They have to finish out the staff. Need a tight ends coach, an assistant offensive line coach. It's a good question. I was talking with a friend about Jalen Reed today. And, he showed that he was tough. He showed that he could hit. He showed he could cover a little bit. He's got potential. Can you count on him to stay durable? I think he showed talent. I think they have to have something else, more of a sure thing. I think he had an opportunity to win the job and to be the incumbent starter. Right now, I think they're going to have to look for competition for Jalen Reed. Running back could certainly be possible, depending on the grades. An Ed Ingram contract could be expensive. I could see it being anywhere between like 15 and 18 million a year. I'm sure he's going to try to aim toward the 18 to 19 range. I'm not sure if they would get into any kind of bidding war for Ed. They might have to move on if it gets too expensive. Nick makes the recommendation, no coaches are hired without DeMeco Ryans say so. As you guys know, they lost the assistant offensive line coach. Zach Yenzer reported that earlier today. And Zach Yenzer is now the Miami Dolphins offensive line coach. They were anticipating that. Texans met with everybody at the Senior Bowl, the whole group. I have not heard anything to make me think Joe Mixon's coming back. I think that he's having some fun on social media. I don't think it means anything at all. You think they pay $8 million to a guy that has a foot injury he may never be able to come back from? Right, Brandon. I mean, they need to upgrade. It's just going to depend. He'd like to stay here. We're just going to have to see on price. They're also going to do business with his agent on Will Anderson Jr. and potentially Breece Hall. She represents Nicole Lynn from Clutch Sports, represents all 3 of those players. Titus Howard has definitely earned it. I think that Titus has to be the priority. Yes, they plan to extend Azeez Al-Shire, and they have to figure out what his guaranteed money is going to look like. All the guaranteed money, because the restructure is gone. No real linebacker room rumors, except for, I'll give you a truth, not a rumor, assistant linebackers coach Ben Bowling was fired. EJ's interested in coming back. They haven't initiated anything with EJ yet. Top players on Texans board. Will Anderson Jr., number 1, regardless of position. Number 2, CJ Stroud. Number 3, Bryce Young. Kaylee does have a say on the offensive staff, yes. No rumors other than I know that, not a rumor, that Will Anderson Jr.'s contract is a priority. I'm hearing 5-year extension, 5th-year option for CJ Stroud, $26.5 million for the 2027 season. That's a great question, Robert De Niro. I really liked him in Goodfellas as Jimmy the Gent Burke. I thought he was great in that movie, based on a true story of a Irish wise guy from New York. I like him in that. I like him in Casino. They're both very good. But I would have to go with Goodfellas. Great question from the storyteller. Why was who fired? Bob Love. You asked me the linebackers coach. In life, Colby. No, I did not think Christian Harris comes back. MJ Stewart, maybe on a small deal with lots of injury contingency. Who you asked me about was fired, Bob? Thanks. Thanks, Storyteller. No, I did not think CJ's agent, David Mulugeta, would try to negotiate right now when he doesn't have maximum leverage. David Mulugeta, as I said before, has a history of doing market-shaking deals, not small deals. So I don't think he would want to do a CJ deal right now. I don't think they would do a CJ deal right now. I'm told that the current plan is to fail him on a physical and then cut him. Seahawks. Seahawks is my pick. Go 12s. Bob Lewis, yeah, I don't think Ben Bowling did anything wrong. It's just sometimes they might not need a guy anymore. Maybe they didn't think he was advancing enough. I thought the Tank thing was pretty interesting today, though, guys. If you have a chance, watch the video of Tank Dell. I don't think that would be beneficial for CJ necessarily to switch quarterbacks coaches when he's already had some level of success and a trust and a rapport that he's built with Gerard Johnson. I don't think that's what they want to do right now. Tank was in a great mood. We had a really good time talking to Tank, and he did a great job as the host of the shopping spree for the young ladies from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Houston. I do think Gerard Johnson will stay in Houston. Yes. I'm being asked by BG about the Bill Belichick snub for the Hall of Fame. I think some settled scores. I think the voting convoluted process is very complicated, and I think that was a problem because it's not a simple yes or no vote. They make it too complicated in terms of the rankings of people. Some people thought, oh, he was going to get in anyway. He doesn't need my vote, that kind of thing. Hello. I think that is part of it. People act like this is the biggest outrage ever. I get it. It's not the first year. Doesn't Mike Shanahan deserve to be in? Don't some others deserve to get in? Do I think he'll eventually be in? Yes, I'm sure he'll be in next year. They'll make sure of it. I thought he should have been in this year, but it will happen. D'Amico doesn't need to hire any defensive staff. He doesn't have to have an assistant linebackers coach necessarily. They have an offensive assistant in mind and potential tight ends coach that has the flexibility to also coach the offensive line. They don't have a list yet of the free agents, guys. They haven't had a meeting, and so no names are leaking. They'd ideally like to have Titus Howard play right tackle, but they're still kind of working through all that. He will make more money as a tackle. That's a good idea, Arthur. Yeah, let me think about that. I don't get that many questions, though, with Nick. Probably D'Amico, who I interview all the time. If you have maybe I could take like a question of the week or something during the season. That would have enough time because I interview him at least twice a week. I don't normally go to his press conference on Sundays because I go to the locker room. They have not announced the dates yet for the spring OTAs. It'll be similar to last year. Say no chance of Cliff Kingsbury coming here. Trent Brown would like to be back. They haven't even talked yet, but he'd like to be back. Thoughts on the tight ends coach? Jake Moreland did an okay job. I think he wasn't like the hottest name when he came here. I think he did an okay job. I think he worked hard, and he, sometimes they just want to bring in someone else. Remember, he had no ties to Kaylee. That is just as important as the job someone does sometimes. I prefer the draft a bit. I think free agency is absolutely crazy. I think he always does trade a lot, moving up and down the board. So I think he would not stop doing that. Oh, at 28, I'm sure he'd be happy to trade back. That's something good. I did a story on the practice squad. Let me pull this up for someone that wants the names of the reserve future deals. I'll run them down for you. One sec, guys. We'll do this here. Solomon Byrd, Kayvon Merriweather, Eli Cox. Deal fell through with Brandon Hill for health reasons. Had an agreement. City Sow, Junior Tafuna, Xavier Thomas, Jared Wayne, Josh Kelly, Lane Pryor, Luke Lachey. I saw, just from social media, I saw Casario watching the John Carroll corner, the punter. He watched the lineman drills pretty carefully, so did Cole Popovich. They talked to everybody. Danny Barrett, they think he's good, actually. I don't think they'll announce the new hires this week. They'll take their time. Lipford is a finalist on Thursday, tomorrow, for the Falcons general manager job. I don't know yet if he's going to get it. He's already crushed the first interview. They don't have to replace him. If they did want to have another assistant general manager, you could up DJ Debick or Mosique McCurtis. They would be the most appropriate ones to go with Chris Blanco. Danny Barrett is the running backs coach, and he's also the assistant head coach. You don't think he did a good job with Woody Marks? Coached him up. Bob, it's going to take much more time than this. It's going to be throughout late February, early March. I don't know if Brevin will be amazing. He's got to stay healthy. He's a good player. I think it's amazing might be too much. Miles Bryant's a backup, good special teams player, versatile player, very undersized, not a safety. Frank Ross, several scouts, Nick Casario, Cole Popovich are all at the Senior Bowl. I would go free agent running back. I think you can't wait on that. Ward is a free agent. You do not have to cut Jimmy Ward. Like I said, guys, we'll take this for a full hour. As long as you guys have questions, I'll answer them. And like I said, the super chats are live. So if anyone wants to cut the line, feel free to super chat, or if you just want to support the channel, I appreciate it. I didn't go to the Senior Bowl, so I wasn't there to personally get into it all. They're still considering whether to bring back Tommy Townsend. He'd like to come back. I thought Dalton Schultz played well. Doesn't necessarily reflect. It's more about the fact that he wasn't a Nick Caley hire, like part of that regime. I don't know if it's necessarily an either or situation with Breece Hall comes in as soon as they cut Joe Mixon. You have to look at other running backs too, like Algier, see what the market looks like. I was not at the Senior Bowl, the Shrine Game. I've reported some that were texted to me. They meet with every single player at the All-Star games, Stevie. They literally blanket it and they meet with everybody. Kenneth Walker will be very good. I don't know if he's going to make it out of Seattle, though. You got to wait and see who gets to free agency before you really know the real list. It's always a lot less names than you think. Every year this happens. Need the offensive line and the running back, right? Yield. You got to have the chicken and the egg. Naquan Jones is an unrestricted free agent. So is Leki Fotu. There's some talk about him coming back. No, I don't believe Mike McDaniel is the answer. You'd have to get rid of the entire offensive staff. And I don't think he wanted to come here. And D'Amico was committed to Caley. It really wasn't ever an option. I don't know why everyone thought that he's just going to fire Caley and to plug in McDaniel. Let me give you that date. I believe it's in May, early May. May 1st is the deadline to use the fifth-year option. So right after the draft. So it needs to happen by then for them to secure him for the 2027 season. Doesn't mean that he will make that money. Doesn't mean that a lot of things will happen. Oh, I mean, you can want that. And again, I'm big on kind of what's what, not what people want. They would only keep Joe Mixon if he had a 100% clean bill of health, and he will not have a 100% clean bill of health. Jalen is making good progress. It was a meniscus, I was told, and I think he'll make it back. I don't think he'll be 100% at the OTAs, though. I think he'll be having some activity. Tyler Algier, another good running back besides Breece Hall. Kenneth Walker. Nick Cassero alluded to using Jalen Noel more, but there must have been some sort of reason why they didn't. It wasn't just Christian Kirk being out there. He was kind of in his way, but now Tank Dell's in the mix, and he's a slot. They do not plan to do Caley and assistant to more senior offensive coordinator, no. Yes, I get leaks about free agency. Omar, check out my track record. I get lots of leaks. I don't see any need to do a Cassero extension. He's already under contract. Joe Mixon injured his foot. And then he got some experimental unauthorized procedures. I believe one of them was stem cell. The other one was electromagnetic therapy to break up scar tissue. He has some lack of blood flow to the foot. He's not ready. I don't know if they bring back Kirk unless it's at a really low price. I don't think they need him with Tank Dell and Jalen Noel. I think that ship has sailed. The tight end coach firing does not mean much other than he hadn't worked with Nick Caley until this year, and they just decided to move on. I don't think that he was ever regarded as like one of the best tight end coaches in the NFL. So he was just kind of a guy, just like a lot of D'Amico's guys that he hired when he first started his staff. You know, he's a first-timer, so he's just getting what he can to try to put together a coaching staff. So some of the guys you get will not be your first picks or the first picks of others. You're getting what you can. Remember when all those guys joined D'Amico, the Texans were a losing franchise. So nobody knew if D'Amico would be good his first year. So you weren't necessarily getting the top of the line. No, the Titans coach firing doesn't mean much to me. I have serious doubt about Joe Mixon playing football again, yes. Settle is a free agent. He'd like to come back. Not sure if they're on the same page financially. They do not announce the interviews for almost anything. Autry's going to consider whether he's going to keep playing or not. He does have a chronic knee injury. It's up in the air. If he comes back, it's under a 1 year. I don't think they would bring back Fadukasi. He's perpetually hurt. Lack of durability. Older player. Can't have back all these guys. Under ordinary circumstances, I would move on from Mario Edwards Jr. He had a very disappointing season before he got hurt. He is under contract, so maybe he comes back. That's part of the rotation. I heard he's doing well, but I don't think he's necessarily closing in on the deal. Derek Barnett is up in the air on his future, contemplating, am I coming back? What am I going to do? How do I feel? With a veteran like that, you give him a lot of time to make a decision. Need interior line. Need tight end, need running back. It's going to be kind of a mix of these things. I don't know if tight end, if there are going to be that many additions. What I recommend, I don't like anything. I recommend that they get offensive linemen, a running back, a defensive tackle, a safety. Ogunbowale is always a part of the special teams. Frank Ross recommends him. I think that could happen. You're welcome, Karnka. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super like. Much appreciated. One second, guys. Hey, Shannon. Yeah. Off camera, could I have something to drink? Thank you. I mean, Dari is only a special teamer, guys. What's wrong with having him on the team? I know he had the fumble, but what's up, King Birdie? Kaylee does have significant say about the hiring and firing of the coaching staff. Ultimately, it's D'Amico's final call, but they're not making him keep coaches that he doesn't want to work with. I think that's about Kaimi. It's only been a couple years since he signed that big deal. So we'll see. Let me pull this up here. I think it was last year. The 3-year, $15.9 million. So this year he's back $4.05 million base salary. $280,000 roster bonus, $140,000 up to total active per games played. It's some idiot that posted that on a podcast and it was on Instagram. It's not true. I get so many dumb questions about that. Not from you, but I'm just saying, like, so many people ask me about it all the time. Kaylee, he can give input. He doesn't have any kind of final say. He doesn't have that kind of power. Free agency starts on March 11th, King Birdie. Yes, this is a make or break year. I got my unsweet tea. Let's stay caffeinated. I saw Damon Arnett today, guys. He's in the gym. Free agent. Ankle's getting better. Interested in re-signing. Also interested in the Miami Dolphins. We'll see what happens. Back at it. Hard at work. I don't think A-Chain will get out of Miami, Danny. They really like him in Miami. Don't see that happening. Who wouldn't like him? Just a really outstanding player. Also a local guy and an Aggie. Like I said, guys, lots of time for all of your questions. We are here all the way up for the next full hour. Appreciate you guys doing that. I think someone asked me if I'm going to Radio Row. No, I did not plan to go to Radio Row. Yeah, Jacob Rodrigo, he's a good linebacker, Buckus Award winner, Lombardi Award winner. represented by my friend Murphy McGuire, Houston native. The Texans like him a little bit. We'll see how that goes. He did great at the Senior Bowl. No, I mean, I think Nick doesn't have his plan yet. It's too early. I just like to be honest with you guys. I could throw out a bunch of names. I could BS you, but I don't like to do that. I like to be very honest. I don't know if you win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. You better hope they do. If you don't, there'll be somebody else here. No, I'm not going to Radio Row. I think that the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl. That's my pick. Great question about the red zone from Eric Andreas. Why did the Texans struggle in the red zone? They're not physical enough and big enough to push people back into the end zone. Other than Nico Collins, they don't have a dominant threat. They don't have the jump ball capability. CJ doesn't necessarily make a fast enough decision. These plays are too slow developing. The only thing that works down there is misdirection generally, or quarterback keeper. It's not good. Rico Dowdle would be a good option for multiple teams. See if he gets to free agency. I think they could use another wide receiver because I'm not convinced that, I think Jaden Higgins, a lot of this will be predicated on him making a big jump. We don't know yet that will happen. I don't think they will re-sign Christian Harris. Bama offensive tackle is very good. I've watched some tape. He's outstanding. Proctor. Needed our speed receiver. Yeah, that's a good point, King Birdie. Run game would make life so much easier for C.J. Stroud. I don't think Sadiq is available at 28. I don't know. I'm getting all these senior consultant things. They have a former offensive coordinator on staff in Bill Lazor, but he spent most of the year helping the defense. He leans a lot on this guy, Jerry Slopinski, that worked for the Raiders and for the Patriots. They're close friends. He's a John Carroll guy. They are in lockstep. He helps him. I don't see this consultant thing happening. I think C.J. Stroud can run fine. I think he's worried about his concussion. Big no for DeAndre Hopkins. No. Absolutely not. I will not expound. Not happening. At all. No way. Definitely they need blocking tight end. They're not big enough. We'll see about Sam Darnold. He's pretty good. I actually read the Texans scouting report, their internal report this week that they had on Sam Darnold. And the scout that did that report did a great job. I wish I had it, I could pull it up on my phone at the same time, but I can't do it at the same time. Next time, I'll tell you what they said about Sam Darnold. We'll have a chat before the Super Bowl. Tanner Koziol is a very good red zone guy. He's 6'7". I think he adds a lot. He was popular. Texans were among the teams that did meet with Tanner Koziol, University of Houston. I know, no home run hitters, no one's that fast. Maybe Tank Dell will be the home run hitter. Kalen Rutledge was knocking people down. I've seen some of the videos. I think you guys have too. Very tough, very feisty. Absolutely. Be good for a lot of football teams. Bob. No, sir. There really aren't as many, some of them are even more expensive, like Isaac Samolo, and some of them are really old, like Wyatt Teller. I think in Joel Bitonio, it's tough. Samolo would be good. There's a lot of other not as good guards out there. There's a large drop-off after about the first 5 guys. Remember last year, Laken Tomlinson was on nobody's list. And they went bargain shopping for 1 year and up to $5 million. They have a passing game coordinator. His name is Ben McDaniels, so he's supposed to be helping Kaylee. Hopefully he'll be more helpful this year. I do not see Case Keenum returning as a player. No, they don't need him necessarily. They have Graham Mertz as a third quarterback. I don't anticipate some sort of player-coach situation. see if that's something Case wants to do one time, is be a coach. You got a QB's coach already, though. I don't know why you want D-Hop back. D-Hop is very close to washed. And there's some baggage here from his previous stint. It just won't work. I cannot elaborate or really get into some of the source information, but no, big no. I thought Arian Yerster had a good rookie season. I think it was a mixed bag. Obviously, the beginning was rough, and he got better, and he grew on the job, and I think his upside is there. I don't know if he's obsessed with John Carroll University. He's a proud alum. He was a former record-setting quarterback for the Division III powerhouse, John Carroll. He played with a guy named London Fletcher, that's a Hall of Fame linebacker. He's proud of his alma mater. They've produced a lot of great coaches and evaluators, and not as many players, obviously, and Frank Ross is one of them. DJ Debick, the pro personnel director. Nick Caley was a student assistant coach there. Just a long history there. Sort of a lot of loyalty. Consider people from that school to be high character guys. Jerry Slapinski, another John Carroll guy. Josh McDaniels. Polian's son. Tom Telesco. On and on and on. I had done some coverage of this before. There's just a lot of people. It's been a real cradle of coaches and GMs. I agree. The offense is predictable. It's got to be less predictable. No, I don't expect him to be benched for Davis Mills. I think they're going to go forward with CJ. I don't think he's going to play that way again. I think he's going to hopefully learn from that. Nick does like Jake Andrews, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't, if there's an opportunity to move on from him, if it's better, they would do it. Trent Brown's doing well. Yeah, he's recovering well from his ankle and knee injuries. I haven't heard that he'll need surgery or anything like that. Hopefully a better offense, right? In the life of Colby, a better offense. Trent Brown, he didn't play a lot of left tackle. He was right tackle for them primarily. I don't think Jake Mullen firing was that surprising. Yeah, it just didn't seem like it was a fit with Caley and those guys. Right, a lot of these other guys do have a clock management guy. There's someone up there that's supposed to help them with that. Yeah, we're talking about Tanner Koziol. Yep, absolutely. What's up, Glenn? Go Lad. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I do my best. I'm starting to recharge a little bit. You guys maybe can tell I'm not as tired as I was the last couple of weeks. Let me pull up the free agent list. I'll do a little predictions for you guys. Don't hold me to this forever because I don't know what the offers are going to be, if there are any offers. So I'm going to do this very fast. Keep or not keep. It's just a prediction. Ready? Here we go. Jake Andrews is under contract. Buffalo situation is crazy. All right, let's answer this free agency question. Christian Kirk, my prediction, not back. Jimmy Ward, my prediction, not back. Dinoco Autry, 50-50, might even retire. Sheldon Rankins, I predict they get it done, back. Derek Barnett, I think he's back. EJ Speed, I think he wants back, and we'll see if they want to go younger. They might want to go younger. Foley Fatukasi, not back. Tim Settle Jr., not back. Tommy Townsend, I think they get something done. Back. Nick Chubb, not back. MJ Stewart, not back. Naquan Jones, not back. Braxton Berrios, not back. Dario Ogunbowale, back. Kurt Hinish, not back. Ed Ingram, I think they get it done. Trent Brown, as a backup, sure. Christian Harris, not back. Harrison Bryant, not back. Miles Bryant, maybe on a 1 year, maybe. Jamarcus Ingram is an exclusive rights free agent. I think they'll do the tender for him. I think Damone Clark has a chance if they don't do the EJ Speed to be back. Jarrett Kingston, I don't really see why they would bring him back. Dino Vasso is not going to get that job, is what I'm hearing. And Derek Stingley Jr. wouldn't do that. Derek Stingley Sr. wouldn't want to do that. Not going to happen. Hi to Bob. I understand, Daryl, but he's all you got. I think that he'll play to an acceptable level. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Justin Herbert. Look at their lack of playoff success. Look at their seasons this year. They got better. I understand in the life of Colby, but sometimes things just don't work out. Wasn't healthy enough to reach his potential. I understand. He's not taking up a spot that you need. He plays special teams. Just like British Brooks, he plays special teams. Dari adds some value on special teams. That's why he's here. Certain guys don't make sense to you all because they play special teams. Just like Tremont Smith doesn't make sense to you guys as a corner, but he makes sense in coverage. No, I haven't seen the Dave Chappelle, Charlie Murphy story about Derek Stingley's grandfather, but a very sad story, obviously. I hope that they showed respect. I think he doesn't play well in the snowy conditions, and he played badly. The concussion, they blocked badly. It was, pun intended, the perfect storm, the perfect snowstorm, that is. Flurry of turnovers, snowstorms, wintry weather, and a ice-cold defense from the Patriots. Thanks for letting me wax poetic. I know. Absolutely, Danny. It was a lot of fun covering the Ravens. I covered the second Super Bowl. I was covering the Titans. Before that, I covered them in the Super Bowl. The 1 yard short game by Kevin Dyson. Great Super Bowl. Covering the Ravens was a lot of fun. Very, very exciting team. A lot of good history. A great game, back and forth. Stories I'll never forget. Especially the lights going out during Beyonce after the halftime show. A lot of fun. Right, well, they have some doubts now about CJ. He's the one that opened these doubts, opened the door for that. There's only one way to fix it. He's got to play better. I know, Brandon. I don't know if they're going to. I think that's got to be a priority, is health. It's hard to, create health, though. I'm not sure, Kiske, what was that about? Meeting with him at a club. Maybe if you could elaborate. Because I may have missed something there. Okay, meeting him at a club. Nightclub. Okay, yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. A little absent-minded there. Interesting. Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate it. They would like to, Omar. D-tackle's really important here. But Tommy Tagiai is good. What sports do I watch other than football? I like basketball. Occasionally I can sit through a baseball game. It's hard for me to watch it on TV. I'd rather watch it in person. I do like hockey, but I like watching it in person. Last hockey game I went to was a Las Vegas Knights game when the Texans were playing them. I thought that was really exciting. I was rinkside. You could smack the boards. That was fun. We had VIP seats. It was great. My friend, who was the manager at the Red Rock Hotel out in Hendersonville, that was a fun trip. Oilers will never return to Houston. Exactly. Okay. I don't really know what to say to that one in the life. CJ comes from a tough background in Rancho Cucamonga. I don't think that's the issue. He's been through a lot in his life. His father incarcerated, him and his mom, and his siblings living in a small apartment above a storage facility that she managed. I don't think that CJ has been coddled at all. I think CJ's had some tough times. Olabo doesn't want Landry and Cody talking about CJ and the team. I mean, that's their right, free speech. I mean, we talk a lot about CJ here. I answer all your questions about CJ. We just have different style channels. I like what they do. I think I'm just have a different, slightly different approach, which is still evolving how I do it. I mean, 10-game winning streak, and he won 7 of those starts, so you have to give him credit. That's part of his record. I think he needs to have a great offseason. Nicest Texans player, wow. I'll give you a couple. Nico Collins, Azeez Al-Shire, Trent Brown, Titus Howard is very nice. Jamal Hill. We have a really friendly locker room. Ed Ingram's really nice. There's no one that's really a big grouch. I think Kamari's a good guy. Woody's pretty approachable. I'm going to see Woody this week. Look for more coverage, guys. I'm going to talk with him at an elementary school on Friday. And then I'll interview Nico Collins, Jalen Noel, and possibly Woody again at the TriStar event. Guys, check out that TriStar event. And while I've got you, I want to make sure I shout out our sponsor, Fence Geeks, the best at anything for your home needs or commercial. Fencing, gates, doors, railings, gate access controls, commercial, custom iron. They do the finest detailed work. Aluminum, wrought iron, anything you need, anything custom, anything nice. Doesn't have to be fancy, but they can do fancy. They do celebrities, they do professional athletes, and they do the regular working man and woman. Quality work, meticulous, efficient, custom tailored to your needs, great prices, quality service, top-notch security. Fence Geeks promise they will work with you to achieve your design goals. You can access that at fencegeeks.com if you want to get a free quote. That's fencegeeks.com, or call them 713-299-6482. That's 713-299-6482. They're located here in Houston, Texas. Please support a local business. They're big Texans fans. That's how I know them. And I wouldn't endorse them if I didn't think they were great. I've got a couple more minutes, guys. I'm actually going to unplug here because I need to get a little bit more power. Phone's running low. 1 second, guys. Hey, Shannon. Yep. Can you get my power cord? Are you okay to walk behind me and get the power cord? No. All right, guys, hold on 1 second. I'm going to get my power cord. Got to disconnect here. Sorry about that. I was getting low on juice here. So let me plug in before this cuts out. All right, there you go. Sorry about that. Let me catch up a little bit. Texans, first 3 rounds of the draft. Guard or center or both. Need a tight end. I think running back, if they don't get one in free agency. Defensive tackle. I'll check out Gabe Jackson. I think that they're okay with having a pass rush. I think Danielle Hunter's got a lot of good years coming. Thanks, Yo-Yo. That is the way I try to do it. I am not here to necessarily try to be the chief critic of the guys. I like to just tell you the truth about the guys. It's a little bit different. I don't know when the rivalry uniforms are coming out. It's really random when those things are released. There is no new info. I said it before. They will examine him. I think he'll fail the physical. Sorry about that noise. Fail the physical, then cut him. They won't be able to trade him. No value. Too banged up. Hi to BG. I don't know if what's help CJ is seeking. I think that would be very private if he was. I don't know. I'm sure someone will ask him that question. I think he'll probably be offended a little bit. We'll see if he'd like to answer that question. I mean, I think at some point it's going to need to be a little too much. During the off season, I like to travel. I like to spend more time with my wife than I get to during the season. I'm very busy, very locked in on work. Some of my hobbies, Abigail, include reading. I like to read true crime books. I also am a big movie and television buff. I do make time for my shows, especially Paramount, Landman, Mayor of Kingstown. I'm watching The Pit right now on HBO. I like Task on HBO. I thought that was really good. I watch Industry. I do like to exercise. I try to exercise a lot more in the off season than I get to during the season. I am working on trying to drop some pounds from the season, and I'm working on trying to get my back healthier. I've had a bit of a tight lower back, so I'm working on that. So those are some of my hobbies. I like to go swimming. I like to play a little bit of tennis. You guys are going to know a lot about me today. I probably sound really, really exciting. Some places I like to travel to include Miami, LA, Austin, Texas. I have a timeshare in Mexico. I haven't used it in several years. Cabo San Lucas is somewhere I've been to before. Puerto Vallarta. I like to travel a little bit when I can afford to. Well, I think it does affect his confidence next year. It's just a matter of how does he rebound from it. Thank you, Olabosa. Yeah, I just want to keep it 1,000 real with you guys and not like to BS. Life's too short, right? This is a honest game. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening to my ad about Fence Geeks, proud sponsor. Appreciate them. The whole thing with Joe Mixon's injury is that Joe has asked for privacy, and that's why they're not disclosing what's wrong with Joe Mixon. And he has certain rights, and it's a non-football injury. They did not have to disclose it. That's one of the reasons why it isn't disclosed. It's a gray area in the NFL injury reporting. He's a better run blocker, absolutely. But yeah, that was Kevin. I've said this before. That's all on Joe. They would like to have more clarity on that because they're tired of getting all the questions. Bullock and Laster are best friends. Not like, they are. How do I spell what? I'm sorry, Kiske. I lost train of thought a little bit there. Draft, offensive line, running back, tight end, safety, defensive tackle. I reported this to see as soon as he was 5 minutes after he was cut. He argued with guys. He wouldn't take accountability. He was almost in a fight with a couple of teammates. He made fun of Jalen Petre's contract. That's never been reported by anyone else. I also reported about how he was envious of Jalen Petre's role. He refused to take accountability. In the argument that he was in, he said that he was in a, he yelled at them. He says, "Don't treat me like I'm a child." And they thought that was pretty unhinged. I think the guy's off, man. Mental health, a lot of mental health problems. Not judging him, just saying. Mental health. Texans' biggest leader that's not named Aziz Al-Shire. Great question. I'm going to go with kind of a tie. I'll give you one from offense, one from defense. One from offense, Titus Howard. One from defense, Will Anderson Jr. Okay, I'll ask Woody about KD. I think he goes to the Rockets games. Yeah, I have a lamp, yes, behind me. There's some books. There's a football that's autographed. When I left covering the Ravens beat, it's actually signed by a bunch of Ravens people, including John Harbaugh. That's my replica East Carolina football helmet. I played at East Carolina. I got some signed footballs from the Texans. I got a few books back there, a globe. Not the fanciest backdrop, but that's what I got. Favorite music? I like really, really eclectic bunch of music. I am a child of the 90s, so I liked a lot of the bands back then. I did like Pearl Jam back in the day, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Cypress Hill fan. Like the Wu-Tang Clan. It's like Snoop, like when I was in college. I listen about anything now. Lil Baby, Da Baby, Drake. Movie songs. I'm big on movie songs. I have a good mind for songs that are in movies. Running back, way above tight end. Bob. No, Matt Burke is not a finalist for the Arizona Cardinals. He will be back. Bank on it. I think they need speed. Tank Dell's pretty fast. He gets open. I can go to any NFL game for free as long as I apply for a credential and I'm working at the game. That is accurate. Puerto Vallarta is a great place. There's a little city near there called Bucerias that I visited. Really, really excited. I hear you, Gunner. Yeah, no, why wouldn't it hurt? It was an ugly, ugly game. They let you down. They let themselves down. They embarrassed the city. All those things are true. I will be at the NFL Scouting Combine reporting and interviewing Nick Caserio, D'Amico Ryans, and local players at the Combine. That's right, Stevie. I don't know if both Nick and D'Amico are going. I know at least Nick Caserio will go. I don't know about the first part of that question on Joe Mixon, but I've heard about a vascular necrosis. No, he does not have gout. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to try to tell you the truth. It's a tough question. My favorite player. I mean, I was a kid. I was a Redskins fan. I went through phases where I liked John Riggins, Joe Theismann, all those guys. No, they will not fire Gerard Johnson. That's not the plan. I do not think Graham Mertz would go for a first-round draft pick. I'm not sure they could get for him. I've heard no talk. I was actually checking on that today about a Henry To'oTo'o contract talk. I have nothing to do with the Bill Polian thing. I do not believe that he supported him. I think Bill Belichick and Tom Coughlin are both Hall of Famers. I actually covered Tom Coughlin when I was covering the Jaguars when I was right out of school. My favorite food in Houston, and I have several favorites for casual, fast casual, farm to table. I like to go to local foods. For steak, probably B&B Butchers is my favorite, more so than, say, Steak 48. I like Mastro's. I think everybody does. Kata Robata for sushi. Those are some of them. I am not at the Senior Bowl, so I didn't really get to see a lot of this, Tom. I've just been watching clips on social media, and I've been busy with coaching stuff. Yeah, Gunnery, I think they'll bounce back. They'll be in the playoffs again. I don't know if they're going to go further yet. We got to see what the team looks like. Do I think Meats was a waste of a draft pick? I'm not sure who Meats is. I don't know. Hourglass. Yeah, I haven't had any feedback. Kevin, I've lived here. This is, I think, year 11, 2015. Yep. So this is my 11th year. They like Mertz. Yeah. Thank you, Glenda. I don't know if I'm doing it for the Texans, but I appreciate the coverage. It's for you guys. I'm doing it for you all, the Texans fans. I'm a little over an hour here now, guys. I can take a few more questions. Like I said, anybody that wants to hit the super chat, we only had a couple tonight, you are welcome to do that. So please indulge if you like to. No news. They haven't even started on Will Anderson Jr. extension. No preliminary talks, no nothing. It's going to take probably some months before it happens. You're welcome, Kemka. Hopefully I shed some light on the coaching staff stuff. Not a big deal. The reports that I did today, lower level coaching stuff. They would not, well, I think they're happy with Mertz. I don't think Christian Kirk will be back. I answered that earlier. It was a lot of fun covering the Ravens, the Joe Flacco outstanding run he had. Basically a perfect playoffs up there with the Steve Youngs and the Tom Brady's and the Joe Montanas. He's disappointed in himself. He understands that the thorns come with the roses. I don't think you could get a second-round pick for Davis Mills. No way. I don't even know if you get a third-round pick. I think fourth round, fifth round, more like. You're welcome, Bob. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they're going to do it this year. Like I said, I've got time for a couple others questions if anybody wants to weigh in. We had a good group in here tonight. I appreciate everybody that hit the tip jar, as I call it, and did the super chats, all that stuff. Thank you. Hourglass, he said a lot of things. He's not even around. Not dunking on Joe, I'm just telling you, I don't buy it. Not buying it at all. Maybe he's trying to will it into existence. Okay. I will tell Casserole, also known as Casario. I don't think he's ever been called Nick Casserole. I haven't seen that before. That's pretty funny. Favorite sport? That's easy, Yonery. Football. 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 First, last, always. My best sport, too. When I was young and could play football. So I'll give it about 4 more minutes, guys, if there's any late breaking questions here. I don't think Christian Kirk could have been a Pro Bowler, but there's so many weird things about people not wanting to go. Popovich is definitely staying with the Texans. I think Popovich will get a raise and an extension from the Texans. Thanks, Solobo. Appreciate it. No, I've heard a little bit of rumblings about Ben McDaniels, but I don't think that's necessarily going to come to fruition. I think they're going to run it back. There was a chance that it was going to change dramatically, and it didn't. Eric Andreas, thank you very much. Much appreciated. What did you get right this year? Great question. They got some evaluations right. Arion Tertiary, they were correct about him. I think they were mostly right about Jaden Higgins. I think that they were right to experiment with the offensive line until they got the right combination. They got it right just in the nick of time, right? And they had a 10-game winning streak. I think they were right to stick with C.J. Stroud and not go back to Davis Mills, despite what happened in the playoffs. I thought that on defense, letting Matt Burke call the plays, another thing that they got right. Those are among the things. I think that the continued growth, the faith in Frank Ross and the special teams guys, that was good. Next week, maybe, I know 2 of the names. I cannot report them yet. They're not big names for assistant offensive line coach and tight ends. I know, but Shadur is like, it's ridiculous. Like, it doesn't matter. The Pro Bowl is nothing. It's flag football. I did not meet my wife at a Texans game. We actually met online. Been together ever since. Punt, pass, kick. Yeah, it's an old school thing. Yeah, exactly. Woody is another good decision they made. 4th round. No, I don't think they should have benched him. I think that they were right to see if he threw one more pick, and he didn't. If not for Woody's fumble, they could have actually come back in that game. Woody, CJ did settle down, and he doesn't deserve any credit for that, but the truth is he did settle down. I think they ran into a buzzsaw. You saw what happened to the Broncos. That Patriots defense is loaded, and Mike Vrabel was in their head. He outcoached these guys, too. Blame the coaches, too. I mean, maybe the better personnel, better running game, maybe that would help. Better offensive line. A shout out to Shannon with helping with the channel. She can hear that. That is cool. Guys, thank you. She says, thank you guys for being in the chat. She does all the thumbnails. I can't take credit for that. I won't. I don't know. I think the defense knows what CJ is. Remember Davis Mills against the second half in the Buffalo Bills game? That wasn't very good. I think Texans could have beat the Broncos too. I think everybody would have beat the Broncos. Buffalo should have beat the Broncos. All right, guys. They're heading up to an hour and 10 minutes. I've got time for about 2 more questions. You're welcome, Josie Fuentes. anybody has like a couple last ones, I can knock them out. And thanks for everybody that contributed, questions, tip jar, all that good stuff. Super chats. Egbuka would have been a great pick. Absolutely. I don't know if Davis Mills is a better leader. He's a steady guy, but I think CJ, a little more vocal leader. They're very different. Davis is quietly inspirational. Free agency begins March 11th. I think Slowick was average. I think that you're not getting the best when you're a first-time head coach. Guys, I keep going back to that. D'Amico couldn't get the best coaches because he was not able to. Jalen Petrie is not going to the Pro Bowl games. There's some sort of late replacement. It would have come out by now. I knew the Kamari one since last week. He tried. He made a couple calls. It went nowhere. It wasn't even barely worth reporting on Kelvin Banks or on Booker. Yep. All right, guys. I mean, Gunnery, it's subjective. They played hard for him. They were desperate. They needed to do something. Yeah, I've addressed this 6 but I'll tell you real fast. They're going to try to extend Titus Howard, put some guaranteed money in his deal, see if they can work some out with Ed Ingram. Look for any possible upgrades at guard and center in free agency. Yep. I think it's similar, Bob. I think it's kind of a push. I think Haley still has some upside, but I think Slowick had better experience. Trent Brown wants to come back. Free agency is March 11th. Titus is underrated. Yes, they could use another safety, Ethan. All right, guys. I think let's take another question in the next 60 seconds. I think I'm going to sign off. See if anybody's got last ones. Jimmy is a free agent. Jimmy Ward, that is. I like Pons from Indiana. I think he's good. All those Indiana guys are good. Mendoza, limited in some of the tools, not limited in heart. Yeah, Brevin could do a good job. They've got to really take more time with him. I'm not sure, Josie. I'm not sure on Nate either. Thanks, George. I appreciate that. Favorite show all time, Sopranos. Favorite show recent years, Ozark. I am currently enjoying Industry. Landman is way up there. Mayor of Kingstown. I like a lot of the Paramount shows. I'm a Taylor Sheridan fan, but I don't really like Yellowstone that much compared to some of those other programs. Succession. I like Billions when it was going. I'm not a big Peaky Blinders guy. Everyone thinks I'm going to like that one, but I don't like it as much. I don't really necessarily. Yeah, I watched Landman. Seen every episode. I don't know what the knee guard question. Sorry. Texans not planning to be on Hard Knocks. They won't be made to be on Hard Knocks either because they're a playoff team. Got to add another running back to go with Woody Marks. You're welcome, Olobo. I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Thanks, Kiske. Tried to answer them all. There were a couple I didn't have. I got to work on my draft stuff, honestly, guys. I wasn't at the Senior Bowl, so I got some catching up to do before the Combine. I'll work on it. I got some studying to do. I've been mostly recharging this week and working on coaching staff stuff. It's been my focus. Thank you, Gunnery. Right back at you. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap. I know I said that a couple times, but I think now I'm actually going to go. Let's do another live. I kind of feel like unless we have enough activity, maybe the next live is next week. All right, guys. Thanks. I'll work on getting some more info. Good night. Appreciate you guys. Let everybody weigh in if they want to. Kind of just hang out here for a minute. This is not alcoholic. Really isn't. All right, guys. You're welcome, Birdie. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Good chat, good questions. Don't worry if you repeat. That doesn't bother me. I don't get annoyed by anything, generally. Just like to rapid fire, get through it. Thanks, Omar. Says, thank you, Alpha Aaron and Shannon. Sheldon Rankins, yeah, I think he'll be back. But everything's a negotiation, right? Sarah, they've got to figure out a number. I think it's somewhere between 6.5 to 8.5 million on a 1 year. You're welcome. All right, guys. Thank you. Good night. Do this again soon. I'll announce it. Try to give you guys a little more notice this time. All right, guys. Thanks and good night. I think he's staying. Yeah. Gerard is staying. I answered a little bit earlier, but yeah, I'll repeat that for Ethan. Ethan Yanez has just got in here at the end. Yes, I think Gerard is staying. If he doesn't get the Eagles job, haven't heard that he's getting the Eagles job, but it's pretty wide open for the Eagles offense coordinator job. All right, guys. Good night.